My name's Matt RPD. Currently full-time Twitch streamer, but I also do videos and lives on TikTok, and also with those short-form content videos, I then put onto Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube. So today, this video is going to be probably a longer one than I've done before. There's a few things I want to talk about. There's no script, even though I've got a pen in my hand. So firstly, I just want to talk about myself, who I am, and just to get some thoughts off my mind, because other than myself, Abby, I don't really have a lot of people to speak to about how I feel, whether that's personally or professionally via stream. I do have friends and some people I do confide in, but sometimes it's probably good to get things out in the open, into the air, and maybe get some comments from yourself and your thoughts about me as a person and me as a streamer. So yeah, going back to, let's talk about myself. It's all about me, isn't it? So before streaming, I work full time. There's a wasp in here. Every time I do a video, there's either something going on. Yeah. So I work full time at a local authority here in the West Midlands. I worked in green spaces, predominantly like parks management, countryside allotments, and just overseeing green space in the borough, which then tied in with like public health, getting people outdoors, fitness, health and wellbeing predominantly. So think of me like a bit like Ron Swanson from Parks and Rec, but probably not at that level, at the lesser level when it comes to the US alternative. So that's what I did full time, Monday to Friday, 5 days a week. And whilst doing that, I did a law degree. I did that part time until probably the final year. I just decided I didn't want to do 2 more years of study, so I ended up doing, which is stupid. I don't know how I did it, but I managed to do 1 final year full time of study whilst working full time, and yeah, that was interesting. But we managed to pass. We come away with a 2-1 from the university. Oh, sorry, from the Open University, and that was my passion at the time. That was my thought. My thought was, oh, maybe I'll get a degree, a law degree, and go into the legal route, and maybe become a solicitor or whatnot. But that never happened. I did finish my degree and then go into the postgrad, which was at the University of Law at Birmingham, to do my LPC, which is the legal practice course. We did that for a bit, and it just wasn't for me. I wasn't feeling it. I wasn't really that interested. Perhaps that was burnout. Perhaps that was just a lack of just willingness at that point. You know, I do reflect on that time, thinking, was I just burnt out from all that study and work, obviously the full-time work as well. Perhaps it was just too much at that point. Or I sometimes think that, if I'm totally honest, on reflection of the degree, I think it was just because I wanted to have a degree, and maybe it was just to, I wouldn't say show off, but if anyone asks, I'm like, well, I got a degree. No one else in my family had a degree, and I just wanted to be the first, I guess. And yes, it come later on. I didn't do the traditional route of getting a degree via, doing your GCSEs and then A levels and then going to a physical built brick university. The Open Uni was predominantly distant learning, barring the physical exams that we had to attend, which was like 3-hour exams. But yeah, we came away in the end with a degree, a 2-1, and student debt. But it was an experience. I made some good friends through that as well. And yeah, shame about the LPC and not finishing that, but my heart wasn't in it, and I just didn't have the willingness and determination to pull through that. And I think it was the right choice to back out, because I just, looking at it now, I just don't see myself being a solicitor. And that's not, I think, academically putting it down on paper, yes, but I think verbally, I just don't have that articulate. Maybe it's laziness in my speech, I don't know. But yeah, that never came into fruition anyway. And then following giving up the LPC, I decided, you know what, I've got some time on my hands now. I finished work and I've got an afternoon, evening to myself. Obviously, I do things with Abby as well. I'm not being selfish here. So I thought, you know what, let's pursue a hobby. I hadn't had a hobby for many years, and I thought, let's do something new. And so I bought myself a gaming PC. Wasn't a very fancy build at the time. And I thought to myself, whilst doing that, I'm going to get into streaming. Excuse me. And so I did. I got into streaming. I started September 2019 under the name of Matt RPD. I did have a previous account many years prior to that. I believe the account was named Unrighteous Matt. Don't know where the name came from. And yeah, so I used to do some streams. I met Tom back in them old streams as well. I used to do some caravan streams and stuff like that. That's a different story for a different time. Maybe I'll tie into it later. So yeah, we started at Matt RPD in 2019, September. And, I started with just a passion and a hobby just to play computer games and maybe make a few friends along the way. And we was doing that for a while. And then Tom, at the time, was doing like Resident Evil 2 remake speedruns. And I was like, oh, this is interesting. What's this all about? Because I didn't really do speedruns prior to anything else. And so I decided to get involved. And that's what we did. Me and Tom was, in a friendly competition. We tried to get below 1 hour as a speedrun on Claire. And we were just back and forward, improving on our times. And it was good. It was good fun. And then eventually, whilst doing that, I was starting to get people tuning in my channel and, steadily getting some growth my way, which was good, making new friends. And it was pretty exciting, to see viewership go up and followership go up as well. And, it was a good journey between me and Tom on that. And I'd say back then it was simple times. At the time I was still working full time, finishing work. Any other day I was streaming. And I think it's fair to say that I enjoyed my time then because there was no stress or demand for me to turn up. There was no stresses because obviously I wasn't making a living off Twitch. My living was at my full-time job. And so yeah, we built the channel up, and then COVID hit. And then during that and post-COVID, obviously the viewership and the analytics went skyrocketing because a lot of people was working from home, a lot of people was laid off, a lot of people couldn't go outside. And so people relied on the likes of Twitch and YouTube and so forth. And my analytics was like probably 200 people average at the end of each stream, which was pretty insane. So we kind of grown through. I think we got partnership within 1 year. 1 year of getting partnership on Twitch is a big deal. So yeah, I think it was like 12 or 13 months. So we did very well there. It was quick success. And I think it's fair to say, from my point of view, I kind of expected that to sustain. But it didn't. But we're still doing it full time now in 2025. So yeah, so let's go into that. So I was earning good money on Twitch, and I decided, you know what, I wasn't very happy in my job. My job changed a lot. The dynamics of it changed. It went from a green space, predominant management, of maintenance and strategy plans, bringing in lottery grants into the borough, and developing parks with funding that we brought in, and then obviously improving people's lives along the way as well in terms of getting people into parks. With new fit like infrastructure, whether that's gym equipment, play areas, and so forth. So it kind of went away from that in terms of like green flags, and the job went into more, as I said earlier, public health. So it's all about. I don't say I don't like dealing with people, but even though I like fitness and working out when I can, and sports. It's different for me. Like I like it for what I do for me, but I didn't really enjoy it kind of putting it out there for others. So having to do training around like what was the walking coach to 10K and stuff like that. I was having to do stuff that was it felt personal at the time. It felt beneath me, if I'm totally honest, just because I was paid a good wage and we didn't really get at times. I was sent out to a park and like I'd have two people turn up, and I'm like, the things that I was doing prior and previously to this before this huge change happened in this restructure, it just wasn't for me. So, and obviously streaming was going well, and a lot of people moved on as well, and you lose your friends and you make new friends and whatnot. And the team left was great people. Got no animosity towards anybody at my old job, but I just felt like it felt like it was time for a change for me. And because of the streaming was going well, I was loving it. I was passionate. I was putting all the effort in. We got partnership. I just felt, you know what, let's try and leave. Let's look into leaving, and that's what I did. So I spoke to management at the time, and I said I didn't want to just leave because with the uncertainties of Twitch, I didn't know how good things would go and how long they would go, because you are predominantly relying on people's generosity on the internet, and you don't know how long that's going to last. People come and go as well all the time. So you make friends, you get to know people, and then before you know it, they're gone. And that hurts at times for many reasons. But yeah, I spoke to management, and I said, like, can I look into the possibility of not was it secondment? Not secondment, sorry, what's the word I'm looking for here? A career break. So they granted me a career break, which was a surprise. And I don't know if that's a mistake on their part, because I was very good at my job. I am, when I have to do something, I believe I'm good at it, and I don't like to let people down. I think as a person, I'm very much a person pleaser, or had been anyway. I don't know, like, as much now. Maybe myself's gone a bit in terms of like the way I interact with people. I've probably got a shorter fuse, I think it's fair to say. Um, but no, they gave me the career break. I think because it was a new team, I think that some of the new management, one of the senior managers probably didn't really look into the HR things when it comes to career break, because they can refuse career breaks if they feel like there's a reason. But they didn't hold me back, and maybe they just felt like I wasn't happy. And I think some people knew I wasn't very happy. Every time like I tried, there was a certain progression that I wanted to get at that point, and it just didn't happen. So I was like, I started to not really want to be there for many reasons. So they gave it me, which was a 12-month career break as well at this point. And then I think about 9 months in, they asked the question as to whether do I think I'll be back. And I'm totally honest with them then. I could have kept them wait until the 12 months, but I knew they wanted to get somebody else. And at that point, they want to give somebody else a permanent position. And I thought I didn't want to begrudge anybody of that. So I think it was about 9 months in, I said, look, I'm not going to come back. So if you want to start that process of ending my contract, and then so be it. And then that's what we did. So they came back, and I was getting like, money coming in at that point as well, which is good. And obviously I had before I had a lot of annual leave and toil. So, that was a bit of money coming in as well to support that. But yeah, anyway, so we left, and then we started full-time streaming on Twitch. And that's where things I felt changed. Not straight away, but after a while, I feel like my mental health really took some significant hits. Perhaps from the viewership side of things, where things start to decline. And then when viewership declines, it frustrates me at times. And I don't want to put blame on anyone really, because if they're not in it, they don't get it. It's like anything. It's like me saying to somebody who does a line of work that I don't know anything about. And it's like, I could be very judgmental or opinionated about it, but I'm not in there, so I can't really speak about it, can I? But with the decline of viewership comes lesser opportunities, whether that's, lesser sponsors, but not only that, the sponsors will then pay less as well. And over the years, we've relied on sponsorships. They can be very fruitful, and it does help, a weaker month out when it comes to potentially lack of bits and subs or donations on Twitch. So, they do come into fruition. And so I'd say a lot of my mental health. I've been through struggles in my old job with mental health. Even doing the degree at times, there was pressures. We all have pressure in life, but being self-employed this is my first time I've been in self-employed for a few years now, and with streaming, I feel like it's a pretty lonely place. It really is, and it's only down to to myself to have to reach out to people, or people say, "Hey, you doing, mate? You okay?" People DM me and all that, and that's great, and people in the community are great. But it is just you and the camera and the lights and yourself. You're getting people talking back to you in a text format, but other than that, you turn, after a stream, you are ending that stream, and then that's it. You go again the next day. And I've never felt such pressure than I have with Twitch, and I just wish that I could handle it better. I think I am. The more I do it, the more years it gets better, but it's still not perfect. I still have my struggles, and people say that, and I think, it's not like I don't care. I do care. I wouldn't be doing this video now if I didn't care. That I do want to continue doing full-time streaming. I want to excel. I know this video is probably going to go all over different places now, and I'm trying to zone back in as to what I'm, the topic at hand. So yeah, going back to obviously full-time since quitting my job. Like I said, the first few months was fine. And I think it then went into the next year when things started to change. Some months I realised I'm really not doing well enough here from a financial standpoint. Some months it's like that. It's not all about the analytics. Yes, that's always been a problem for me, handling mentally, to see significant dips here and there. And there can be many reasons to those dips. But some months you you say you've done a lot of hours. Say it's been 150 hours plus, and you're like, I could do it. This is nowhere where I need to be to have a bit of comfort personally, plus pay all the bills and so forth. So you're thinking, okay, how am I going to make this work? And then before you know it, you might have one sponsor coming at the end where it's like, okay, that's like, say, a £300 sponsor. And it's like, okay, that tides it over. But some months, like in the past, and I haven't really told anyone until now, but say like 2 years ago at times, I was having to dip into savings to subsidise the months, subsidise that particular month. But I just believed at what feels different now than any time before is that before I felt like, oh, it's just a one-off. It's just a one-off. But now it feels like that. It feels like now. Let's talk about now where we're at, because we all know the story about my origins to how I got into streaming and why I got into streaming for a hobby, building friendships and community, and getting into horror games and speedruns and participating in charity events. But I think things just feel different now on Twitch. I feel like, in fact, I wanted to touch on this other part as well. I feel like as a person, I don't think I'm a very good person. If I'm honest with you, I feel I might come across as it, but I think deep down I'm very selfish, and I think at times I could have handled things differently when getting into full-time streaming. But sometimes I wear my heart on my sleeve and I say things just because I feel like they should be said, and that's got me in trouble more than once. And with that comes people that you were friends with are no longer friends with. And I think I have to take some responsibility for that. It could have been different. But then I think, are they deserving of my friendship? If if they are willing to quickly move on. And as much as I don't feel like I'm a good person, I feel like I've given a lot out to people and individuals, and in turn, I feel like they've kind of took what they needed and got away from me, and that hurts. And I think like maybe I was a good person when I first started, and then over the years, I've turned into something that I don't want to be. But maybe that's because of the pain and the hardships that's come with streaming. Like, streaming can be a great thing. It can be a great place, and you have great days, but you can have some dark days as well. And what I've found over the years now is everybody wants what you've got in terms of the full-time streaming, and they want it. If they're a streamer, they want it. They want your success. They want your fan base. And yeah, going back, I think I've had difficult situations that I've dealt with where I felt like I should quit, like with the slur word that I accidentally slipped up with that one time last year when I got cancelled on the internet and everybody came at me on the back of the other situation with a streamer that kind of it was just nonsense. And I think I was unfairly treated in that situation, especially with the slur word, because, there was context behind that was never showed. And it wasn't that I was being derogative towards a particular gender or whatnot. It was just a food product. And I think since then, I just feel like things have just deteriorated more and more. I lost a lot of people that I thought were friends. And I don't know how I'll come back from it. Like, I still think, like, why did I come back? I only took about a week off, and I just don't know. I don't know how I came through it, because it was a very painful time, and I think anyone else would have thrown the towel in. And if I saw that to somebody else, I wouldn't blame them. And I am over it. I might not be showing that I'm over it now, but I just want to kind of go through the stages of the streaming in terms of how we started to then quitting my job and carrying on, and then the things that happen along the line. But yeah, I think deep down I'm not. I think I'm a narcissist. I'm jealous of people's success a lot of time. I feel like my successes should have been further than they are as of today. The things that we've put on, the shenanigans, the parties, the karaoke, the singing, the gameplay, the quality of output, the conversations. I feel like, probably I'm kind of at the point now where, and I'll get to the next stage in a bit, but I feel like we should have been. I know anyone could say this, but I'm just being true to myself today and putting myself out there. I feel like we could have been further up there now. I just believe in myself as a quality streamer and an operator. I'm highly engaging to individuals who come in, and I think personally that I'm pretty good when I'm on it. But then sometimes I think maybe it's just all my imagination. Maybe I'm not that good to what I think I am. And maybe I am where I am. And to this video today, and to talk about the things that I wanted to talk about, I'm at this point in my streaming career now that I've had to swallow a lot of pride. My viewership is the worst it's been, even prior to full time. Prior to COVID, it took a massive hit. I know Twitch have made some changes around, bots, and I feel like my numbers were inflated because I had bots. And even then, when the bots that I didn't even know about the bots, I just felt like my numbers could have been better in terms of viewership. And so now to see this and feel like I had bots in there as well, kind of counting up for like the 25% extra, just it made me feel it made me feel really just sad to know that. Um, but recently, I feel like I'm over that sadness now. I have to be. I have to think about the people that come in regular and support me and be there for me and be there for because they want to be there as well because they're entertained. And I think based on all that stuff that went down last year, I've I know that I've turned people away. Like think about it. There's I've been on stream at times, a lot of times. Well, it's not just a one off where I've just not wanted to be there, and I've been sad and I've been miserable and I've probably been horrible to people as well. So over time, that's probably taken a significant hit on my channel as well. Why would people want to be there when you're sad? People be there because they want to rely on a streamer being funny and interactive and give them a distraction from the real world, give them a distraction from their own mental health. And a lot of time I haven't done that. I haven't delivered. And I think it's fair that people move on, they leave, they unfollow. Because why would they want to follow somebody that's miserable? So there is that as well. I don't even I haven't really planned anything. I've not even I don't even I've got a notepad here, but I haven't written anything down on it. But yeah, I like to think that I'm a good person, but I'm not, and I want to try and be better from this day forth. I'm going to continue to stream. I want to I want to I want to entertain the people that actually tune in. Yes, the viewership thing is out of my control. I know it's always been a conversation, but I think that I think there's something still to offer. There's not a lot there or not. No, I said the other day on stream that I feel like I'm losing the dog in me because I feel like as an individual, as a person, I have some strong traits, but they're not always great traits. Like determination, consistency. Wanting to excel in my profession. Maybe that's my old job as well. I used to go for interviews, working my way up. Anytime there's an opportunity, I've always tried to grasp it with two hands, and this goes with streaming as well. Wanted to do the best I can for me and Abby, and the people around me as well. I've made a lot of friends, great friends from Twitch, and I hope to make more friends in the future. But how much can a person put into something before it's just like, when do you give up? Because it's not just about turning up to the stream, it's the things you're doing before it, the after things you're doing on it, the edits, the videos, the shorts. It's like, when do you know? But I think this is one of the things I thought to myself anyway, prior to, when going full time, is that on Twitch, I think streaming full time, it has to be somewhat a lifestyle change, not just a job change. It has to be who you are and be part of who you are. And on reflection, and now at times I'm not showing it, I'm very fortunate to have got to do what I've done for these years now. And I hope I can kind of continue to do it. I really do. It's only now that I'm realising it more and more, because I've been out there, I've done jobs, and it's not all that great as well. Yes, Twitch comes with pressures. Yes, it's self-employed. You don't know where your money's going to come from. But I think what I have to do now is try and put on good streams. Forget about the growth, forget about the analytics. And I think if people tune in, there's a smile on my face, or there's a conversation, then I think I've got to stick to that. I really, really hope that I can stick to that mindset and not go off again, because I don't think I can keep getting away with this mental disruption and these days off or whatever. I mean, even then, I don't really take that much time off. I haven't had a real holiday proper holiday since, yeah, since before streaming. I've always been around. Even when I went to, I mean, Vegas, yeah, I had 5 days on a stag do, but outside of that, I've not had a proper day off. And we've got Australia coming up in a couple of weeks. I might try and take that time to evaluate personally where I am. Not evaluate, but maybe just breathe and relax and just wake up and just think about, oh, I don't have to do this today. I don't have to do that. I don't have to deliver on this sponsor or partnership. People think out there, I've got the easiest life, and when things are going great, it's great. It's wonderful to be around. But when things get into your head, it's the worst thing to be doing is turned up on a day where you feel like crap and you don't want to be around, but you still feel like you have to because it's your job. And then it ends up being a disaster because mentally you're not there, and mentally you just don't feel like you can be funny. And that's the thing now with Twitch, you have to be more than just willing to play the game. I feel like there's this whole pressure where the streaming world is oversaturated. I've said it on the stream. It's like, I don't know where I can go from here. I feel like, what can I do? What can I do differently to make people want to tune in? I've got a small core community members now that support me. They sub to me, they gift sub, they drop bits. But even then, I feel like that's slightly declining as well. So it's like, have I brought this on myself? Have I been too honest and real about things to the point where I've harmed the channel? I think so. Can I turn this around? I want to turn it around. I feel like the last few streams I've not cared about the analytics and that's another thing as well. Like in terms of like engagement, it's totally dropped off as well. Like there's large short portions of the day where I'm not really talking to anybody. Like it's very spread. In the past, I would have had a breakdown, but now I'm just getting on with it. And maybe that's because I've been picking the games that I fancy playing recently. If I was playing something that I've played 100 times, 1,000 times, I don't know how I would have been. I think I would have struggled more. But we plan to play like Resident Evil tomorrow, and if we had that, I'll do my best to kind of go back to thinking the basics as to why I'm here in the first place and what I'm here to do for people. Because I am a person's pleaser. I do really care. I really care what I do. And I just want to do the best for me and Abby at this point and just keep things going. I don't want to give up. But it might be out of my hands in the future. So I think that's where we're at. We'll just have to continue streaming with a positive mindset, and hopefully people can tune in, leave a lurk as well, even if you're not actively watching the channel and watching somebody else. Just support where you can, really. It's never really been about the push for the finances, but going back to the analytics, obviously if we can get more people tuning in, then it just gives me potential monies coming elsewhere, so there's less stress on the community. That's what I've always tried to do. All the time I've always tried to bring money elsewhere, so then I don't have to really be reliant as much to members that tune in and support. But I don't want this to be a sad video. I don't want people to think, oh, he's giving up or he's going. That's far from the truth. I plan to be around. I plan to make streams fun with the people that come in. And if there's anything that you think I should do, let me know. Any comments made? Any comments appreciated? Any thoughts? Any improvements? I know from a visual camera, visually, I think the streams are there, coming on 1440p. It looks good. I have gone back into more variety at the moment just because I feel I'm at the point with my growth and analytically where it's like, well, I can get away with it because it doesn't really matter as of yet. Maybe I'll get back into some resi and see if that changes anything. But I think it all comes down to the fact that from this day forward, I'm gonna. It's okay saying I'm gonna do it, but my mind is complicated, and things might be positive for a bit, and I'd like to say definitively it'll stay that way, but I don't know. And that's what annoys me the most. I just don't know how how long my positive streak will go on until there's another dip in my mental health, and 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 maybe that's where people say, "Oh, quit or go part time," just because you have these problems a lot. But I need to. I'm trying my best to change myself internally from being egotistical, being too proud of to where we was analytically, in terms of the growth as a channel to where I am now. I'm not that channel anymore. Things have changed. Maybe the whole Twitch dynamic has changed. Maybe people are just less interested in Twitch. But or maybe I've just turned too many people away over potential previous antics or my behaviour. I I don't blame people. I did before, but when I'm talking like this right now and open and honest, I don't blame them. I respect their decision, and I wish them all the best, because I feel like I lost good friends there as well. Or I felt there were good friends, but no, I don't think I've helped myself. And it may be too late now to be a nicer person, but for the stream perspective, but maybe I'll feel a lot better about myself if I can become a nicer person throughout the rest of my existence or whatnot. So that's what I'm going to do, focus on. Maybe that would be a good opportunity when I'm in Australia, is to be less angry with people, less angry with the world, less angry about this should be mine, this is where I should be, and just be more at peace. Because I think I need that more than ever, is just to settle to where we are. Settle, but still have some ambition. Just to continue at this point. Let's not try and get somewhere where we're not yet now. Doesn't make sense. Let's just be where we are now, and look after the people that tune in. Make them want to tune in. You know, the paying customers as well. A lot of people are, and why would you want to pay for something that's just not there? So do my best to look after those people, and anyone that's not subbed as well, of course. No, but at the end of the day, these people are paying my bills as well, so I'll do better. And I'm sorry about the past. I'm sorry to anybody in the past as well. Anyone that I've hurt, anyone that I've turned away, anyone that's been hurt based on my actions and my behaviour. This is not me calling you to come back. This is just me setting peace in the world for myself, just putting myself out there, and I just want to be a better person, because I don't feel like I've been a better person. I don't feel like I don't feel like I'm a good person. I feel like I'm a very angry man, and I've always, being that person jealous of people's success, where I've seen myself in a bigger audience and a bigger community, and then seeing people that's come up out of nowhere and go, what does it matter? It's their journey. My journey could have been different if I was more positive, less angry. I don't know. Does it matter? I guess it doesn't. But that's my goal now. That's where I want to be. Is I want to try and positive manifestation. I want to manifest positivity. But like I said, this is all very random. So thank you all for watching, guys, and I appreciate all the support from the bottom of my heart, and I hope that we can keep streaming. I hope that we can somehow maintain a level that brings us a full-time income. and I hope that the quality of streams is what you're happy with. So thanks for watching, everybody. I don't know what this video title is going to be called, but I wish you all the best. Take care, guys.